I get it, you're frustrated, and rightfully so, because you've seen several companies with the same capabilities that do the same work as you win government contracts, while you're stuck praying for an opportunity. But they're no smarter than you. They're no better than you. They're not more capable. They just understand something that you don't. They understand the government acquisition process, and it starts well before it hits SAM.gov. I'm going to show you exactly how to put yourself in a position to win government contracts, and it does not start at SAM. Let's get into it. I'm a federal contracting officer with over 10 years of experience. That's over a decade of soliciting, evaluating, and awarding federal contracts. And if you're waiting on opportunities to hit SAM.gov, you're already a step behind. Today I'm going to show you how to position yourself ahead of the competition, well before solicitation hits SAM.gov. Here's what I need you to understand. By the time you see a solicitation posting in SAM.gov, we're already 6, 9, or even 12 months into the acquisition process. Let me explain to you how. Because before the solicitation, we have a window called the pre-solicitation. During this time, we're doing things like market research, partnering with the Office of Small Business, and doing everything that we can to encourage small businesses participation. Let me walk you through the pre-solicitation process. This starts 6, 9, or even 12 months out. It starts when the customer brings over their requirement. Let's call it a building renovation. They tell us what they need, how they need it, and when they need it by. This is outlined in the performance work statement. They also send over an estimate. This is going to cost $500,000. With this information, we begin doing market research. At the time, we may already know that there are several large businesses capable of providing this service. But that's not where we stop. We want to know how many capable small businesses are there, and under what socioeconomic class we should set this service aside for. That's where our market research is going to tell us. We're sending out sources sought, RFIs, things like this, communicating to industry, telling them our need is the government. But what we need from you and what's vital to steer our acquisition process is a response to those RFIs, to those sources sought. This is getting into the acquisition early. This is going to give you a head start on the competition because you now understand what's coming from the government and when it's coming out. You understand that we're looking for a building renovation that's 6 months in the future. So now you can posture yourself. Imagine a high-end restaurant, great food, great atmosphere. It's the talk of the town. And you want to take your lady. You have one or two options. The first option, you could show up on the night of, go to the host table and request a table for 2. If you're lucky, they get you right in. But more than likely, they're going to tell you that they do not have a table ready. Maybe have you wait. The other option, you can plan ahead. You can book 2 months out, plan your reservation, show up on that night, let them know your name, and they're probably going to say, Mr. Smith, follow me, your table awaits you. There's no different than preparing for government solicitations. You can start in the pre-solicitation phase, responding to RFIs, or you can wait till it goes live in the solicitation. I'll tell you now, one of them will give you a better opportunity at a government contract. You can decide. A way that you can make sure that you're in the conversation early is to make sure that your NAICS code aligns to your company. Not just one NAICS code, all NAICS codes that apply to your company and what you can provide. And how do you do this? You go into SAM.gov and keyword search, not by NAICS code, but by requirement type. Type in all the things that you think you can do and you think you can perform in SAM.gov. Look at the NAICS codes associated with that effort. And what I need you to do is to update your company's NAICS code. And not just the NAICS code, you need to update your socioeconomic class associated to those NAICS codes. That way, you can be a small business set aside under that NAICS code for everything. Because you may be missing opportunities because a solicitation didn't reach you because of the NAICS code that's assigned to the solicitation. These are opportunities that you don't want to miss. So update your NAICS code. This reminds me of a time where I was about ready to make a contract award. And as a part of my final review, I'm looking at the SAM record to make sure that this contractor is eligible for award and that their company has the proper NAICS code under the solicitation that we set aside for. I think it was a women-owned small business, and this company that I was about to award to didn't have the proper NAICS where they were a women-owned small business. So I had to communicate with the contractor because we had been in communication before and they were the prospective awardee. I let them know that they did not have the proper NAICS and they were not eligible for award. And the amount of sniffling and crying that I heard from a grown man, I don't think anybody should have to hear. It's kind of sad because I know that that contract award could have probably changed something for him in his future. It made things a lot different for him. So that's why I tell you to make sure that you have the proper NAICS code, you have the proper socioeconomic class associated with that NAICS code to make yourself eligible for these contract awards. Because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're able to win an award, but you make yourself ineligible because of something that you failed to do. You heard me say it before, but what I need from you is to respond to all RFIs and sources sought to things that you're capable of. And I know a lot of companies think that, why would I respond to a sources sought or an RFI when I'm not gonna win a contract award? That's the wrong way of thinking. Let me tell you how it gives you a competitive advantage. Because what this is going to do is to teach you what is coming available from the government. It's also going to give you an opportunity to shape the acquisition process. Where something would have been a full and open competition, we now can set it aside in your socioeconomic class because you've responded or someone like you have responded. This is going to decrease the competition and increase your chances of a contract award. So that needs to be your focus and your thinking. You can't just think for today or just this week. You have to think in future projections. I'm gonna share something with you that you probably haven't heard about. It's called long range acquisition forecast. What this does, it allows the government to tell you 12, 24 months out what acquisitions are on the forecast. It's gonna tell the NAICS code for this acquisition, the prospective dollar amount, the set aside if there plans to be one, all these pertinent information so you can begin to posture yourself and position yourself in a way to set yourself up for that contract award. The next site I want you to visit is usaspending.gov. This is going to tell you all the expiring contracts. This is going to give you an opportunity to look at what the contract was awarded for, the duration of time. So when it's time for a recompete, you know exactly how much you want to submit your proposal for, right in the range of what the government is looking to spend for that said contract. When the government has a requirement, we're not just sitting around waiting on you to respond. We're actively looking for capable sources. And one of the ways that we do that is through small business search. So if you don't have a presence, I encourage you to do that today. You want to upload your capability statement. This is your one-page resume to the government to state all your NAICS codes that you're capable of doing business as and everything that you can provide to the government. You want to make sure that all your contact information is correct. You want to make sure that you have a narrative that speaks to what you can provide to the federal government. Because this is where we go as the contracting office, as well as large businesses go to seek out subcontracting opportunities. So make sure that you have a presence in small business search through SBA. Listen, I know it's frustrating not to have a government contract, but you are doing things wrong. Make the changes that I suggested today, keep grinding, and before you know it, you'll be winning your first government contract. Let me know the obstacles that you're facing. Let me know the obstacles that you've overcome. I would love to hear those things. Put those down in the comments, I'll respond, and I'll help you with those things that you need to overcome. Good luck.